Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to the museum tonight. My name is Mina, and I'm a member of our event staff here at the Brattleboro Museum and Arts Center. And I'm pleased to welcome you tonight to Mie Yim's artist walkthrough of Fluid Boundaries. As you know, admission for this event is pay as you wish. If you'd like to make a donation to the museum at any point in time, you can see Caden at the front desk, make a donation to the box in the foyer, or visit our website at brattleboromuseum.org/support. We welcome you to ask questions throughout the duration of this event. We're going to try to keep it casual and conversation. If you're joining us remotely, please send a message to the Q&A if you're on Zoom, or in the comments if you're on Facebook Live. Mie is a New York-based painter. She's exhibited extensively nationally and internationally. She's the recipient of the Pollock Krasner Foundation Grant in 2020, the Lillian, Orlowsky, and William Freed Grant 2018, Artist in the Marketplace at the Bronx Museum, and the New York Foundation of Arts Painting Fellowship in 2015 and again in 2021. Mie has a B.F.A. in painting from the Philadelphia College of Arts, as well as a year abroad at Tyler School of Art in Rome. Her exhibit, Fluid Boundaries, on view through October 10th, explores her figurative work, which has an exploration of memory and dreams from an earlier time and her transition towards abstract figuration. If you would all join me in welcoming Mie Yim.
Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to be here tonight, and I'd love to show you the paintings that I have here. And they're not necessarily chronological, but this one is the earliest one. I'm so happy to show this here. It's from 2004, so we'll start from here. This is it's called Puppet Bunny, and it's pastel on paper. And pastel is something that I love. It's such an underrated medium. It's something that I started with early on in my career, and you'll see later on that I kind of have dovetailed into doing pastels again. So I owe a lot to pastel. The purple part is a paint that I painted on, like an acrylic paint with like a granular medium, so that the pastel it adheres to the toothy surface. And so the purple is the paper, and the image is the pastel. So this was around 2004, and I wanted to do something that addressed my cultural heritage. Before this, I was just doing kind of generic abstraction. And it actually was a teacher that came to me and said, you should forget this abstraction and address your Asian identity and your femaleness. And I just thought, what is he talking about? And then I started to question, why am I not questioning it, and why am I not addressing it? At that time I had changed my name from Mie to Jennifer. I had blonde hair, so I thought, maybe this is something that I needed to circle back and and talk about Asian identity and depict imagery that relates to my childhood and sort of that fragmentation of memories and dreams, because I migrated when I was young, when I was 12, to Hawaii, actually. So there's always that sort of feeling of love and loss and kind of like, let me sort of try to create that dreamland. So that's why, and also I've decided to use these anthropomorphic characters that are kind of plushy animals. I was raised Buddhist, and because of reincarnation and everything, they always talk about humans being like, animals, and animals being like humans, vice versa. I was born a rabbit year. My mom was a rabbit. My grandmother was a rabbit. My mother was convinced that this dog we had was a reincarnated long lost relative, and then there's like Hello Kitty and that kind of visual pop culture. So I thought they were great stand-ins for these cast of characters. And the pastel was a perfect medium for these because they're so sweet. I wanted to make this like velvety, puffy, soft imagery, almost childlike, but then it sort of, there's a dark, I wanted to address like the dark underbelly to the story. And then also I did a lot of these sceneries where it's kind of these vague tropical-ish landscape, which is sort of refers back to the Hawaiian times when I was there, and it's kind of a space that I do go to when I feel like, oh, I need to feel, when I'm in my studio and I want to feel vulnerable, I think about that time. And, there's nothing like being 12 and unsure of what's happened to your life and completely being displaced. So that's what I did here. Okay, so shall we move on? We'll go to this piece because this is called Black Eyed Bear. This is a few years later. And as you can see, I switched my medium. I was doing pastel for a while. And then I thought, well, I need to get back into the oil paint. So when I switched the medium, I felt the urge to address the abstraction again, or something, something other than just illustrative narrative, what I was doing with Puppet Bunny. But I wasn't sure what to do. I was kind of searching, and I just felt like I needed to be literal. I needed the figures to be buried under a bigger image. Like it needed to go underneath, so that what's underneath these bunnies and bears, So I have a body of work from this time that these giant bears and bunnies had eaten, swallowed the little bears. It's kind of like, so that's sublimated, so that what's happening is that the abstraction will come forefront or work together. Like I was still searching, as you can see. I feel like even the way the bear is kind of looking ahead, like what's happening? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my art life? So I really like this piece. I've never shown it publicly, so I'm so happy that it's here. So yeah, it's got that, sort of, it's still sweet, but it's going away from the sweetness.
How long did it take for you to do that?
Oh gosh, it takes me anywhere from a month to 2 years to do a painting. Sometimes I'll make something and then I'll have to turn it around, turn it away so I don't look at it. I'll look at it a month later. Sometimes it's a long drawn process. This one, I think I had these figures done and it sat and sat and sat and I was very unhappy. And then I just, and I also turn my painting around upside down all the time to disorient myself so that it catches me without thinking too much. Like, okay, I'm gonna I sort of throw the painting under the bus just so that I can create a new piece without feeling so like it's precious. That's the only way to get at something that's unknown. Yes.
Is it like a writer when they, it's like mentioned, they have writer's block and then they go for it? Do you find that that's like that? Like it clicks?
Yeah, possibly.
If it doesn't click, is it like an obsession on?
Yeah, I would so. The clarity happens. Yeah, it doesn't last very long, so I have to really, paint as fast as I very frenetically paint. And then there'll be long moments where nothing much happens. Yeah, a lot of paint goes scraped and, like I paint over a lot of images. So there's a lot of, maybe this one, not so much, you don't see a lot of history, but most of my paintings will have layers and layers of images. Yeah. So let's go to this one. This is called Tequila Hangover. So this is 2013. So this is when things start to really happen for me. I'm really excited. I could, it's maybe a breakthrough painting for me because the marks are becoming more active, as you can see. If I'm thinking about abstraction, then it is amalgamating with the figure, literally. It's still kind of like a portrait because there's a figure in ground, but you'll see towards the end, I get rid of that too. But this was a huge leap for me. I wanted to do something where it's still cute, sort of has a Hello Kitty, feel to it, but it's, there's some crazy like growth happening and this, grid-like shape is like a skeleton or a structure that is kind of, it's biomorphic. It's got a lot of different elements. But I still wanted to have that cute eye too. But, and you see like, it's more brushy. It's brushier than the other piece. So I'm working towards kind of, I was thinking about like, okay, I want to do the Asian identity, beautiful, puffy characters, but that's not just me. I don't want to put myself in that corner. I'm not an artist that has an agenda. I want to be free. I want to do whatever I want to do. I want to just make the work, and then maybe the concept will come after. And I have a lot of different influences. I'm not, I was getting kind of pigeonholed as like the Asian Murakami, which I thought, no, I have to go away from that. So that's why I was trying to find my own voice. So.
Another question.
Yes.
How do you know when you're done?
Oh, gosh, you really know, you feel it in like the gut level. Yeah. You don't go like, oh, maybe it's done. Yeah, it's done. Like, it's done. Yeah. No, it's all the paint marks settle. And then you get that fluttery feeling like, oh God, I did something really good. And then, but sometimes you hope that is true. And the next morning you come back to the studio and like, oh no. Yes.
So you talked a lot about these pieces being really transitional for you.
Yes.
And how you felt like you were like put in that box with the
Yeah.
and the puppy and everything. So this is a really personal journey for you too, not
Yes.
just artistic exploration. But from you
Exactly.
to this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I grew up in Korea. But I love being here, and I love Europe. I love Italian Renaissance art. I love so many different influences, and I don't see why I can't go back and do abstraction and figuration. That's sort of my personality in the studio and in life. So I didn't want to go to my studio and go, okay, this is the only kind of art I do. Like, no. So
was it North or South Korea?
oh, South Korea, yeah. Emily, hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now it's sort of, it's recent, but we can jump around. You'll remember what's happened. There's a big skip from Tequila Hangover to this, but it'll make sense. So this is pretty recent. It's 2020, let me see. 2022. The paint's barely dry. It's called Rorschach. Okay, I can't even say that word. When I paint now, I definitely I try to clear my mind and I just let the paint take me wherever. And sooner or later, some shape starts to happen, and I want to develop that. And then that's when I start to get an idea. And this one wanted to be symmetrical. I thought, okay, like a binary, like a symmetrical body or nature. But how do you make that not stagnant? So that became sort of my project for this piece. And then it just kept you know, as you can see, I just layer and layer and see how far I can push it. And it's, I love this piece because it sort of has a little bit of a magical feel to it, and it still goes back to the cute bunnies is there, and a lot of like eyes and hidden faces, but there's definitely an element of like danger or some kind of mystical power or something in it. So Rorschach is the, you know, the title because I want the viewer to see something that they want to see. I think it just unfolds. The more you look, you know, I'm the happiest when an audience looks at my painting more than 3 minutes, you know, because I mean, you know, let's face it, a lot of people go into a gallery, a museum, they look at a painting for about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, you know, and then it's nice if you can sit for a little longer because there's so much that you don't see in the beginning. So.
Is there a certain point when you live in Rome?
Rome, yes, yes, yeah.
Is there a certain point where you start to introduce those concepts or European concepts that you?
I feel like in terms of like, not technical, but like theatrically, like just kind of a Baroque feel or like, you know, drama, you know, Caravaggio or Goya, you know, you can, I would hope that, you know, that they're all in there. You know, my influences are like I mean, I love Philip Guston, who doesn't, right? And so they're all in there. Shall we move on? All right. Let's see, how should we do this? I guess we'll go, should we go here and then go this way? All right, this one's called Napalm. This is also recent. So you'll see later on in the back room, I have a lot of drawings that I've done, which is going to be, they're pastel drawings that I was doing when the lockdown happened. So a lot of these paintings happen because of the drawings. I mean, this one is not after a drawing, but a couple of the ones that I'm going to show you are after drawings. So when I was doing the drawings, that really opened up like so many elements that I've been trying to get at. I don't know why, maybe because, you know, when there's a lockdown, you were just you can't do anything, you don't go anywhere. So you're just sitting, I'm just sitting at the kitchen table, and I just started creating just so simple, small drawings. Anyway, so this is, this one just went through hell. It just, you know, I mean, talk about layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, and it just wouldn't work. And I kept turning it upside down, and what is it? And by this time, I've definitely let go of the idea of just doing figure ground. You know, so just everything is the ground, everything is the figure. It's macro, micro, and employing, you know, like still like sweet colors, but it's like very acidic and acrid, I think is a good word. And this one, I think in particular, has like a tropical, it's back to that sort of little tropical, warm, humid feeling. So that's why I called napalm, because it conjures up for me like Vietnam or like Agent Orange kind of feeling, because it's like sort of these fireworks or like eyes burning. Like there's so many different interpretations. I'm just throwing that at you, but maybe you see something completely different. So it's kind of like hallucinogenic, like it's a really fun painting. I'm really happy with the result. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's stuff in there that just got buried, you know, underneath. So I would say maybe, I don't know, 50 layers. Sometimes I will take photos of in between stages and post it on Instagram or whatever. And you can see like, oh my God.
Look at it, evaluate, and move that upside down?
Sometimes, but it's not the same. I don't know. It's tiny and like maybe if I make those marks, but it's different when I do it physically, and different problems occur and different, yeah. So it's just better to do it here. I mean, I look at the phone enough. Like I don't want to be looking at it while I'm painting. So yeah, this is from 2021, Napalm.
Feels so crinkly and cactus.
Yeah, yeah.
That when I saw the title for this, all that.
Yeah.
Productive and like, ouch.
Yeah, I mean, here, like you could almost sit in there because it's kind of inviting, like like coming in, but then like there's all those thorny parts. So yeah, it's definitely it tricks you into inviting you in, but then could just jump and bite you. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you. All right, shall we move on? Okay, this one is called Piggyback, and it's also from this. So there is a drawing of this, which I don't have. It's placed with a really good collection. So I miss it, and I thought, oh, let me do a painting after that. So I didn't even have the drawing, so I just did an inkjet print, and I put it next to it. And it's not the same, of course. It's it's bigger and it's different medium, and but I really love this piece because it has it, and I ended up with that sort of silhouette of Guston face. And I thought, I can't do a Guston face. That's just so lame. Everyone's gonna, but once in a while, you gotta do an homage to an artist that you love. So, I thought, okay, this figure is being carried, like piggyback ride, and this is could be me, doppelganger of me, carrying him into the forest because like I'm giving him thanks, like let's move on to the future, like what'll happen. And I put in, I don't know why I put in the like abstract shape there, but it's very like, where did that come from? No, I can't do that. And anytime I say I can't do that, I gotta do it. Yeah, yeah. I love doing eyes because they just grab you, they look at you literally. But I don't want to do eyes all the time. Like I really am trying to do consistent paintings. So I love that thrill of that. I mean, if I'm bored painting, then that's not right. That's not the right activity. That's not the right feeling I want. So, and it's like, I think I still have this kind of pastel-y marking on, it's oil paint, but you can sort of feel like, oh, look, it's fuzzy. It could be pastel, but it does have this oomph that maybe the pastel can't achieve, the layers and sort of this, the deep space. So it's just great to be able to do both. Okay, so let's go. Let's see, I had a show. So basically when the pandemic hit, everything happened for me, from doing the drawings and a couple of amazing shows. And I had, and someone told me about someone, and someone reached out to me, and this gorgeous gallery in Spain, in San Sebastian, Spain. And I decided to do a show. And I almost couldn't go because I did not check my passport and it had expired. And I, called the passport agency, the 24-hour ones, and they were all shut down. They said, no, we're not doing it. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to miss my own show. And someone said, call Chuck Schumer and just, tell him the sob story. And I wrote to him, I called, left a long, message, like, please, you have to let me go. You have to expedite my passport. I'm making cultural history. I'm the first Korean American artist going to San Sebastian, having a solo show. And 2 days later, it comes in the mail, FedExed.
Wow.
So I was able to go. I went to Madrid. I went to Madrid and went to San Sebastian. It was a beautiful space. It's called Villa Magdalena. Hey, Sai. And so when I came back, I was, had Spain in my mind, because if you go to Madrid, how can you not go to Prado Museum? Yes, it's so amazing. So this is also from a drawing. I did a drawing first, but I was definitely thinking about maybe Goya, Velasquez, that red, I love Zubron. So this one is more back to figure ground thing. I thought, well, I can't always just do all exploded images. I'm gonna go back and do a figure ground thing where it's more like a model, like a surrealist kind of a figure with a moody background. I mean, that's the fun part of art making for me, is that I can do whatever I want, whatever direction, or it's not even a direction. It's just going like all over, like a subway, New York subway. I don't like it when someone says, "Oh, that's a new direction you're taking." Like, no, that sounds like such a one path that I'm taking, and if I take that path, I can't come back, or it's going to take so long. Like, I just want to be able to, just switch and go here and go there. So the drawing is more kind of like solid, and as you can see, this one also has so many layers. I had done like all these dark marks here. It was a completely different painting, and nothing was working. And then I let this figure be on top, but I let these images come through so that it's just the mystery of this, whatever this rabbit-like thing is, or monk, or nun, or it sort of has a, I don't know. I don't know. There's so many meanings to it, right? You could conjure up something, but you see this ghost, the history of the underpainting, which I think really adds to that kind of mystery. This is called Donostia, which is the town in San Sebastian that I had the show in.
I see a tarantula to the left, and I see lobster claws in the bottom right.
There you go.
Eyes of the beholder.
Exactly, completely, yeah.
The solidness and then the transparency.
Yeah.
You do, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I love when things appear to be solid and then it just kind of falls apart. Yeah. Okay, shall we go into the little room? Everyone can be in here. We'll make this one quick because it's a tiny room. Before I talk, so I'll end talking about the works on paper, but just to show you, this is also from 2012, called Janus. This is also that period when things were kind of happening for me, like a breakthrough piece that goes with Tequila Hangover. You see this structure that's coming, it's literally kind of growing into this head. So that's a piece that I don't think I want to keep for myself, because it's, it's like, I feel like attached to it. It brought me good luck. So, and so this is, okay, so here you go. This is a great example of the drawing and then a painting I did. So this is also a piece that I was influenced. I was thinking that Spain was still in my head, and I didn't know it, but when I was doing the drawing, like before I do a drawing or painting, I don't go, I want to do a drawing about Zubron, and I want to do a drawing about the painting, or Philip Guston, or like, I don't like that agenda, because if I do it, then I feel like I have to do it. I feel like a child, like immediately I think, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. So I really want to, when I approach a new piece, be it drawing or painting, I'm blank. I really am thinking about nothing. But this one, as I started to develop, this figure started to emerge, it became this lamb painting that Francesco Zuberon had done called Agnus Dei. And it's the Lamb of God. Obviously, he didn't put these eye shapes on his, but I really love this piece. And I thought, sometimes when I do a drawing that's really compelling, I think it's worth doing a painting. So that's why I did this. And it's again like that back, figure. This is very still lifey, but I want to do that too, like I said. So I want to do both. I want to do still life. I want to do figure ground. I want to do all over abstraction. It made me think about, like, I don't know, it's the pink and the certain brush marks made me think of Susan Rothenberg. All these different art history comes to mind, and why not? And just, the eye kind of looks at you like, I don't know, like maybe God or a spirit that's looking at you, it's looking at you, looking at them and him and her. I really am happy with this pairing. So the drawings, there are many here. I've done about, I think, close to 300, almost 300 pieces. They are my therapy. I still do them at home, even though I can go to my studio still, but because I just feel like that's where I started it. And I can't change that. Like, I want to do it there. It's, when the lockdown happened, I thought, oh, it's going to be 4 or 5 days or something. So let me just grab some. I had some pastel lying around. I took that and I took some of this paper, but I had not done these series of drawings at all. So for some reason, when I went home with these and I sat down, I started to do these really weird kind of, very flora, fauna, biomorphic, geometric, biology, like everything was going, it was happening. And it just felt so meditative and just, I could just go into my world because the world was shutting down anyway. So this really saved me. It's my sanity. And I was able to create so many big pieces from it too. So yeah, so my pastel then, pastel now. Yeah.
This is very striking to me. You also have a cross at the bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This painting will go to a really lovely home after. So I'm really happy. So yeah, pastel.
Try this.
All right, any questions? All right.